Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, hey, Ufi, how are you feeling heading into another elimination final?
Yeah, excited. I think the group is excited. We've had a good couple of sessions yesterday and the day before, and we've got one more session this morning before we travel to Melbourne. So the group is in good spirits, and we're pretty excited for the game against Western United.
Yeah, you've had a lot of injuries in kind of recent weeks and months. Is there anyone who is definitely out of contention for this weekend?
Aloisi and Cal are definitely out at this stage, so it's good to get Josh Sotirio back training with the group, which is a positive for us, gives us a bit more depth at this stage. So just those two are the definite ones.
Yeah, is that front four, or however you plan to line up, going to be the toughest kind of selection headache for you with a bunch of guys back now?
No, look, at the end of the day, there's a few players like Joshy coming back. We can't expect him to play 90 minutes after coming back from injury. So, you know, he'll be limited with certain minutes, but will still give us that depth that we need in this game.
Yeah, I was quite surprised to see you've been listed as quite heavy underdogs by the New Zealand TAB for this game, you know, given your head-to-head record against Western United. I know you've been saying this is a one-off game and it's, you know, a different game altogether, but how much confidence does that head-to-head record give you when you're coming up against a team that is still favoured to beat you?
Yeah, look, we've had some positive results against Western United previously. You know, we'll take that confidence going into the game, but finals football is a different beast altogether, Philip, where it's a one-off, you know, and the tactics and the preparation changes according to how the game will be going during those 90 minutes. So, look, it's not going to be an easy game. We have to travel. Obviously, they're playing in Melbourne, and look, they're a very experienced side that have had a very good season as well, and probably had more players that have played in these type of games previously. So it's definitely going to be a challenge. Yeah,
and just a final one. It's been 10 years since the Phoenix last won a playoff game. You know, considering everything you've had go against you this season, everyone would say this season's been a success just by making the playoffs. But for you, do you want more? Do you think this team's capable of more?
Of course, we've come this far. The group has earned their position to play in the final series. So, you know, in 3 games you can play a grand final. So the first hurdle is Western United, and hopefully we can get a positive result. My first season we got knocked out by Perth in the final series. So we want to go one step further by winning this game and then have an opportunity to come back into Wellington and play in a home and away fixture.
Cool, thanks.
I'll jump in now if that's all good. My camera's not working, but can you hear me all right, Ufuk?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate.
Awesome. Just on that, the fact the format's changed slightly for that home and away, the chance to possibly bring playoffs football to New Zealand, is that an added incentive on top of everything else at this point of the season?
Yeah, I think it'll be great for the group. I think it'll be great for the club to get to play another game back in Wellington. But look, the first hurdle is to get through Western United first, and then we can look at what we're going to do after that. So I think the boys will be pretty excited and pretty ecstatic to know that we'll get another game in Wellington once we get through Western United.
Specifically on the sessions, I'm sure you'll have done a little bit of work on set pieces going into it, but would Western United offer that same threat from set piece, or are you focusing on other areas?
No, look, they're a good team at set pieces. They've got some big, tall players that play for Western United. So that's something that we'll go through with Chiefy for the set pieces. So we'll make sure we're solid defensively and then try to create opportunities from our set pieces.
The lapses that happened in that first half on the weekend, are those easy fixes?
I think it's, for me, set pieces is a concentration focus thing and putting the personnel in the right areas to be able to deal with certain situations. So it's nothing's an easy fix, I'll tell you that much, but we'll try to make sure that we do it a lot better.
And just one more before passing on. General sort of atmosphere going into a playoff game, would you change the sort of way you would approach the first 10, 15 minutes of it? Do you sort of tell the boys to try and sort of settle into the game, play calm for that first bit, or do you try and go all out, guns blazing to get an early goal and put the pressure on the other side?
We'll let you see that on Saturday, Julie.
I guess I'll watch even more intently. Cheers, Ufuk.
Cheers.
Perfect. Nigel from Today FM here, mate. There's been a lot of talk with regards to this experience versus youth. How do you use the youth to your advantage tomorrow night?
Well, the youth bring exuberance. They bring a lot of energy. We've got some senior players as well within the mix of that to help the group, be settled and move forward. So look, experienced players. Look, the experience only comes from doing it over time, and we've got some young players that have got a lot of energy and have got a lot of legs to be able to get through 90 minutes. But at the same time, I think we're still a very good team that's set up well tactically and finding solutions. And hopefully on the day we make some good decisions on the ball when we do have it.
The team had a very good run in the FFA Cup. This is essentially now cup ties through to hopefully lifting the silverware. Do you take anything from that run? Is there anything you can utilise over the course of however many weeks you go on the playoffs?
Yeah, look, you can. The FFA Cup games are a lot of one-off games that we played, and look, the first game we gave a lot of our youngsters a go against Western United, where we got through 1-0. So look, like I said, the finals are a different beast. The game can change very quickly, in 90 minutes. So we just need to be prepared that in every circumstance, whatever happens, that we're ready to deal with it.
Final one from me, Ufuk. Obviously, in sudden death playoff games, emotions can get heightened. What do you do to make sure that you don't allow your emotions to impact on the decisions that you need to make for your team over the course of 90, 120, even longer?
Nothing's changed for me. I'm still me. I can't change who I am on the sideline. At the end of the day, for me, regardless of what's happening on the park, I think I'm very still in tune with what's really happening and what decisions need to be made and what changes need to be made and what needs to be said at half time. So, we'll go in there with a game plan and hopefully that game plan comes to fruition. And if we need to make changes, we'll do them accordingly.
Thank you, sir. All the best.
Thank you.
Hey, Ufi, can you just tell us the story of how you've ended up training, where you've been training this week?
We're training at Macquarie at Sydney FC's training ground at the moment. So this is another home for us, again, leading into the finals football. The field at VSB where we have been training needs to be redone and returfed. So we've been having to move off that. And the next day, Gilly had to ask the question to Sydney FC if we were able to use their pitches for training, and they've been very, very nice and very accommodating for us to be able to use that.
How does it feel to be back there?
For me, look, it's another field that we need to use to do our job, so that's pretty much it.
Can you believe, that after all you've sort of been through the last 2 years, that you're still here and you're still finding, I think, new things to have to cope with?
Look, it is what it is, Andrew. For me, and I always say this, is what we can control. And we have a good pitch that we're training on at the moment. We work on what we need to work on to try to get the outcome that we can get on the weekend. So, look, to be honest, training Macquarie, it's even closer to Chatswood, which makes our drive a lot easier.
Fair enough. And just lastly from me, how would you say things compare right now to 2020, that first season where, you had to restart in Sydney, you didn't really get that many results, but you still went into the playoffs. You had a playoff, which was a ridiculous game. I remember where you had all these chances and they just didn't go in. But how's the sort of mood approaching the playoffs this time compared to then?
Yeah, look, it's a different group of players. Yesterday's session was very good in the sense of spirits-wise. The boys were pretty jolly, I would say, and pretty happy the way things have been going. And so far it's been a good week leading into this game. So look, that was a different time, different circumstances where we come off a break and then try to get some momentum within games, and then ended up losing against Perth. But look, we've put ourselves in this position, Andrew, to play finals football, and we'll go out there and always give it our best.
I think it's going to be something like 3 starters the same from that game. Injuries obviously a factor there to one extent, but can you believe, you've obviously lived it, but can you sort of believe that's only 2 years ago and there's been, I guess, so much change in your lineup?
Yeah, look, obviously COVID has changed a lot of things, Andrew. Changed players' decisions, whether they wanted to stay or wanted to go with I think the uncertainty with COVID has changed a lot of things. But look, that's football. People move on. Players come and go. Coaches come and go as well at the same time. You know, I'm not going to be here forever. There's going to be someone sitting in my seat, you know, tomorrow or the next day. So it's one of those things. You know, players come and go, and we try to build a team that we believe is going to get results. And this team has earned their spot in the final series, and we'll go out there and give it our best.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Well, can I just ask too, in terms of wanting to be the team that scores first, given that you've won the entire season, you know, losing every game where you've conceded first, but also the fact that Western United seems to be a team that like to, you know, if they can score early, they like to sit back and defend a 1-0 lead. Is this a game where scoring first, you know, could decide who ends up winning the game?
Yeah, look, I think the previous stats have shown that when we score, we win, and when we don't score, we don't win. So this game, I think, is a tough game against Western United, who have won a lot of games 1-0 during the season, where they do score and they do shut shop very well and defend very well and try to keep that score, you know, alive. So for us, look, it's nice to have a few players back to give us that depth to make changes within the game. I'm hoping that we are the ones that score first, and those stats still stay the way that they are.
Yeah, and why do you think you match up so well against Western United? Because it's been, you know, a different coach for them. You know, you've had different players in different formations. You've played games in Wellington, you've played games in Australia, but it seems like ever since that very first game that you've had the wood over them. So is there any particular reason why the Phoenix match up well against Western United?
Well, sure. I think I just think we just set up the way we need to set up and find solutions in the way that we want to play, and I think it's those games that the boys do it well and ends up getting us the results. So hopefully they can continue that on Saturday. Yeah,
and Dewey obviously mentioned before about the possibility of coming back to Wellington if you win this game. How do you like balance that? Because I guess just getting to a semi-final is enough motivation to win the game, but given how rare it's been to be at home, do you feel like that is something that is also like a big driving factor behind the players? They want to have that occasion being back at home?
Yeah, I think in the back of their heads, they know that if we get through this game, that they have an opportunity to come back home and play in Wellington. But again, the focus is on getting the result done on Saturday. If we don't get the result on Saturday, all that other stuff means nothing. So the focus is to win and get the result, and then the boys will know that we're flying back to Wellington to play a game in front of our fans again.
Yeah, and how do you think Western United under John Aloisi compare to what they were like under Mark Bruden?
Different for me. Look, at the end of the day, I don't like talking about coaches and other teams, but they play totally different to the way the previous coach played. And then they've got a lot more different players as well. So.
Yeah, well, what do you think they're kind of?
That's as much as you get from me when I speak about other teams and coaches.
Well, yeah, can I ask like what you think their threats are as a team? Like, what are the things that you're going to have to be wary of?
One thing that they're good at, you know, they've got some very quick players in Connor Payne and Lockie Wales up top, and even Wenzel Halls. They've got the big Serbian striker that can score goals. He's known for scoring goals. So look, they're very good in transition as well. A team that's a defend and a very disciplined team without the ball. And look, and also one of the biggest things against us is going to be set pieces. So because they are a big team, and we need to be sure we're focused and we're switched on in those moments. Yeah, and you probably won't tell us whether Clayton Lewis is going to start or not, but do you believe he's got more than 45 minutes in his legs that he could theoretically start tomorrow? Yeah, look, Clayton did well in the last game. We gave him some good minutes. Look, he's feeling good. He's been training all week. So, look, I'll be honest with you, Clayton will be involved in this game, and we'll see how far we can push him. Yeah, no, that's good. And just a final one in terms of like Clayton's, back. You had Hooper back a few weeks ago. Josh Soterio's back. Do you feel like you've got a squad that is capable of kind of winning this game and getting through to the semi-finals? And do you feel like you are in a much better position having a few of those guys back now? I always believe that my squad is good enough to win every game. And having these players back and having them involved, I think just doesn't give me the confidence, but also gives the group confidence, having these players back within the group. So look, for me, it's great that they're back, and like I said, it gives us that extra boost and extra depth that we need in case the game does go to 120 minutes.
Yeah, sorry, I just thought of one more. I don't think the Phoenix have ever won a playoff game in Australia before. Andrew might be able to correct me if I'm wrong there. But do you think being based in Australia for so long, has kind of removed the barrier of, going over to Australia and getting a result? Like, is that just almost irrelevant when you prepare for a game in Australia now?
Yeah, I think it's irrelevant at the moment. I think we've played so many games in Australia. I think the boys have come used to it or accustomed to it now. For us, it's like I said, it's an exciting week. Finals football, where regardless of where we are, I think this is our 7th or 8th trip down to Melbourne this season. So look, I think the boys are used to it. We'll just get on with the job.
No, that's all good. Cool. All the best, and hopefully we see you back in Wellington.
Hopefully we can put some smiles on people's faces and we get an opportunity to come and play in front of our own crowd again.
Hey, if you can, I just jump in 2 very quick ones. First of all, the weekly checkup on David Ball's toe. It hasn't fallen off or anything, and he's still all good to have an injection and play.
His toe is still attached at the moment, so yeah, all good.
Awesome. And bigger picture question, and I know you're probably not going to look beyond Saturday for this, but does winning or losing this game have an impact on the attractiveness of the Phoenix next year in terms of if you're looking to bring big signings in?
I don't think so. I think if you look at what this group has achieved in the circumstances, and one thing I've done, we've never hid behind the place that we've been in and what we've done. So for us, we try to play a certain brand of football, Joey, at times. Does it come to fruition? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Have we adapted this season with the players that we have? Yes, we have. Look, for us, our focus is trying to win the game. I don't think it's going to change anything in the sense of attracting players to come and play for Wellington Phoenix.
Cheers, if you go well.
Thank you.
If you just one last one, you might have been asked this one, but that famous photo, one of the photos of the season of you and Chiefy and John Aloisi, and you're dragging John away. I don't know if you've been asked, but can you remember what was actually being discussed in that particular moment?
Not really. I think it was just two passionate coaches at that time not getting along, and I think it was the 2 Italians butting head there. So it was just one of me just trying to pull them away.
No, cool. Thank you. Is Chiefy Italian?
He's half and half. He's half Peruvian, half Italian.
Because I remember it coming up the other week that he was Peruvian, but yeah.
He changes according to which national team does well.
Yeah, no, cool. Thank you.
Please have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks, Sophie. Much appreciated. Cheers, guys.